I think Australian standards for pig welfare are better than most countries in the world.
Australia has a fantastic reputation around the world as being clean and green.
The Australian pork industry has high standards of welfare in the housing of pigs.
In my opinion, if we're going to have change, and changes are inevitable, whether it's housing systems or husbandry practices, in my opinion it should be based on science. We do have a lot of good tools to assess welfare now.
The Australian pork industry has been putting money into research for many years, not only on housing systems for sows, but also on other aspects of welfare.
Hi, Bill. How are you, eh? Most of the emphasis really for pig welfare has been on housing systems, and that's where the public focus is. But the other area that's really extremely important is how important the stock person is.
And there's been a lot of research to show that the standard of stockmanship has a very significant effect on the welfare of pigs.
The work we've been doing here has actually been developing a training package to change both attitudes and behaviours of stock people to pigs. Good girl. Good girl.
The training package that John's team has developed is called ProHand and is taught by licensed trainers.
So once she knows you're there, she's confident in your presence, and then if you give them a rub, well, they particularly love that. They can't scratch themselves very easily, so they're enjoying that. And that gives you the opportunity to check the sow. You can see how her feet are from there, and then you can even check her identification, and she doesn't mind that at all.
The welfare goes right down to the people that work daily with the pigs. We start there. We make sure that we're employing people that want to work with animals and like animals. As well as that, we get them trained on the industry ProHand system, which is a way of training people on good welfare when they're working with animals.
Come on, girls.
If you have good people, well-trained people looking after them, then the pigs are much happier, much more responsive, and their health and welfare is greatly improved.
Pigs are great to work with because they're so responsive in your interaction with them, and it's also because it's such an intensive system, there's a lot of feedback both from the actual pigs themselves as to how you're doing, as well as from performance parameters that are measured.
Just when I hop in the pen, you can see they'll just come straight up to me. They're not fearful of me. It's the way we've sort of been brought up since I've started the job to treat the pigs right. And the better you treat your pigs, the more productive they'll be.
You can have the most modern facility in the world, and if the stock people aren't good, the pig's welfare can still be compromised. It's likely to be compromised. Whereas you've got good stock people in ordinary, average systems, you can maximise welfare.
Australian Pork Limited is the national representative body for pig producers. It has a quality assurance program for pig farms called the APIC program.
APIC or APIQ stands for Australian Pork Industry Quality Program. Now, APIC looks after product integrity, which refers not only to food safety but also to animal welfare.
APIC are the standards developed by Australian Pork Limited in consultation with the industry as a practical application of the industry code of practice.
The animal welfare component is actually built around the National Model Code of Animal Welfare for Pigs. It's specifically designed for that, it's audited. Now this code is coming up for review in the near future, and the Australian pig industry is going to be an active participant in it. We'll be undertaking full consultation across a range of stakeholders, from regulators, animal welfare groups, pig producers, food retailers. We want to make sure that everybody gets a say and that we have a good, robust debate about this.
APIC is currently working with the Animal Welfare Centre in Victoria. They're developing a system for auditing the welfare standards of pig producers. The management team includes researchers, producers, welfare groups and legislators.
Well, the main focus of the research I've been involved in over the last few years has been to try and develop a document that will assist producers to better be able to assess welfare on farm.
So you go through a checklist when you go on a farm, and it either is or it isn't complying.
Animal welfare is part of our quality assurance accreditation program. We get audited every 12 months by an external auditor that examines everything. If we don't have good welfare and have it in place, we'd lose our accreditation, and with that we'd lose our market.
There will always be some people who believe the meat production industry should be abolished entirely. But the majority of Australians like to eat meat.
The pig industry, like any industry, has problems, but the majority of the industry shouldn't be tarred with the brush of a few people who don't do the right thing. And we certainly like to work with welfare groups in making sure that everybody takes a professional approach to animal welfare, because good animal welfare benefits everybody in the long run.
We need to be guided by scientific research, not by emotional guesswork.
Australian welfare standards are different to European standards. I don't think the European standards are any better. If welfare standards go over the top, it will mean that it's not worth being in business as a pig farmer.
I wouldn't say outdoor units are the future. Outdoor units are confined to a relatively small geographical area. So it works for us, but it's not going to work for everyone.
Working with pigs every day, the thing that good welfare gives you is positive interactions with the sows, which makes you happy, and it leaves you going home with good job satisfaction.
When the welfare standards come up for review, we want to make sure that any changes that we do make are workable and that they can be audited. But as well, we need to remember that good welfare comes down to good stockmanship, well-trained people, good buildings, good clean conditions, and owners that actually care about what they're doing.